Alrighty guys, welcome back to the best investing money management channel on YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the one, the only, ticker symbol KO, also known as Coca-Cola. Everybody knows that Coca-Cola is the dividend powerhouse, and we're going to be seeing, is it actually a dividend powerhouse? We're going to be breaking down everything you must know about this stock. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys get anything in value out of this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments here. So looking at Coca-Cola stock, over the past year, they've actually outperformed all the indexes, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500. Coca-Cola stock year to date is up about 8%, which is actually doing very, very well because the S&P 500 in the general market is actually down on the year. So pretty much investing in Coke in the beginning of the year, you'd have been up on your money. And if you'd have just invested in the S&P 500, you're down. So overall, on the performance for the year, this is getting an A+ rating. There's no issues. And on top of that, looking at their last three earnings reports, let's break them down. So the last three they bought in, the most recent one, they brought in about $11.3 billion. And this was actually a surprise of almost $741 million. So obviously when they announced that, the stock went from about $61 all the way up to about 64, sold off and kind of curled back up, hitting highs here at about 65 bucks. On top of that, they announced a dividend of 44 cents. So for those of you that don't know, Coca-Cola is what you call a dividend king. This is one of companies that's been paying a dividend for more than 50 years. And on top of that, they're growing that dividend year after year. So maybe one year you get 44 cents, the following you get 45 cents, right? That's the kind of growth you'll see with these stocks here. Now that the second most recent, they brought in about 10.5 billion, which is good because the most recent one, they almost made about $1 billion more than their previous one. And on top of that, the dividend here, 44 cents right here. On the third most recent, they brought in about 9.4 billion. So given this, they've grown their solid revenue quarter after quarter after quarter, which is overall a good thing. You always want to invest into a stock that carries some sort of potential on revenue. You never want to invest in a stock that is just kind of a sinking ship. So personally, on the revenue, it gets another A+. So one of the biggest things with investing is what you call cash on hand. Cash on hand is one of the most important things with a company. The reason why that is because if Coca-Cola ever goes through a tough time, you need cash on hand to continue to grow, to invest into the business so you don't go belly up. And you'll notice they have about $11.6 billion, which is an overall 10% decline year over year, which you always kind of see these ups and downs, especially with these value stocks because they do pay a lot in dividends, but that's compared to their long-term debt. They have about $36 billion in debt, which is kind of a lot. You never really want to go heavy into a stock that has more long-term debt than cash on hand. The reason why is because if there is a hard time with Coca-Cola, they're going to need to get money somehow. And if they're already $36 billion in debt, if they take on more debt, that's just overall going to dilute that company and make those shares worth less. And on top of that, they don't have enough cash to pay off that long-term debt if needed. One of the most important things is profit margin. They have a profit margin of about 23%, meaning for every $100 Coca-Cola brings in, they actually profit about 23 bucks, which given the circumstances is actually pretty decent. The average profit margin you'll see, especially with a value stock, does hover around 20. Apple's always at about a 22 to 23. So given that Coca-Cola is following suit, I think is pretty decent. But another thing every dividend investor should care about is something called a payout ratio. So a payout ratio is pretty much if Coca-Cola gets, let's just say on this past earnings, $11 billion, how much money of that goes to dividends? And their most recent payout ratio is at about 70%, meaning of this money, 70% of their money goes to dividends, which is a lot. That's a lot of money because a stable company needs to continue to take their profit, take their earnings, and grow that business. So answering that question of should you buy Coke? I think Coke is a perfect stock for more of a value stock, more of a value company where during times of hardship, they're actually going to perform very, very well. But during times of bull markets, money's going to go elsewhere. It's going to go into those growth stocks. It's going to go to the S&P 500, but everybody should have value stocks. And that's what Coca-Cola is. And that's what it probably always will be. You're never going to see Coca-Cola just absolutely just pop in earnings and the stock goes up 200%. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see Coca-Cola, release something or have a year where they're up 30, 40, 50%. You're just not going to see it. You're going to see Coke always hovering right at about 2% to about 10% every single year. But the beauty of it is during times of hardship, times of recession, Coca-Cola, as you can see, does perform well. And I think that's the benefit of it, and that's why I love it, is because you're investing in a dividend powerhouse. So you're going to get those dividends. You're going to have some sort of you're not going to have as much fluctuation in your portfolio, and it keeps your account more diversified and stable than just going heavy into growth stocks and the S&P 500. So guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's kind of my overall breakdown of Coca-Cola. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. And I hope you guys all have a great and amazing day today. Take care.